No one has been held to account. Justice has not been served.
She is the first American Palestinian journalist who has been killed by Israeli forces.
I want to know, who killed Shireen?
In May 2022, the world lost a voice of truth. Shireen Abu Akleh, a Palestinian-American journalist and one of Al Jazeera's most iconic reporters, was shot dead during an Israeli raid in Jenin. Her death sent shockwaves across the globe, raising questions that still demand answers. Who killed Shireen? And why has justice remained out of reach? A new documentary by Zeteo, titled Who Killed Shireen, claims to uncover the truth. Today, we dive into the story, the findings, and the family's fight for accountability.
How are we going to find the shooter?
He's got a phone call set up with this Israeli soldier who was there that day.
We just have to go over to Israel.
Did you ever talk to the...
Jenin, May 11, 2022. A bustling city in the West Bank becomes a battleground. Shireen, wearing a clearly marked press vest and helmet, is covering an Israeli military raid. Then, a single shot changes everything. She falls. A bullet to the head. The world watches in horror as one of journalism's brightest lights is extinguished. In Jerusalem, Shireen's niece, Lina Abu Akleh, carries her aunt's legacy. Surrounded by posters and memories, Lina speaks of the pain and purpose stirred by Zeteo's documentary.
We did know about the documentary before it was released because they interviewed my father and he took part in this in the documentary, but we were not aware of the findings. What the journalists who worked on this documentary revealed was very important, and it was just another reminder that, and another addition to the numerous investigations that...
Did you ever talk to the guy who fired the shots?
Well, I know in prison. The U.S. should have absolutely come forward and actually pressed the fact that an American citizen was killed intentionally by IDF.
The drones are still ongoing, the explosion's going off.
Holy shit, we got a name.
But here's the twist.
Zeteo's documentary doesn't hold back. It names an Israeli soldier from the elite Dov Divan unit, a sniper, as the one who fired the fatal shot. The soldier, later killed in combat in Jenin in 2024, is at the heart of a firestorm. The documentary builds on multiple investigations, pointing to a chilling conclusion: Shireen was intentionally targeted. But Israel disputes this, claiming her death was likely an accident or even the result of Palestinian fire. For Lina and her family, the documentary is a double-edged sword. It reopens wounds, forcing them to relive the trauma.
It definitely did have an impact, an emotional impact on us as a family, because watching it just triggered the trauma and we had to relive the tragedy of Shireen's killing. But most importantly, these kind of investigations are very important in highlighting and showing that these killings did not stop and the impunity continues to breed more violence.
Shireen's death wasn't just a tragedy, it was a flashpoint. Her funeral in Jerusalem saw Israeli police attack mourners, sparking global outrage. The United Nations reports 191 Palestinians were killed by Israeli forces and settlers in 2022 alone. Yet, Israel maintains its soldiers don't deliberately target journalists. Former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett argued in 2023 that soldiers shouldn't face prosecution for unintentional civilian deaths. But Lina sees it differently.
So for us, definitely, we were emotionally impacted by watching the documentary because of all the different findings that it revealed. But at the same time, it was a very strong one that truly spoke to, it truly added to all the previous investigations that we've known, is that basically Shireen was intentionally targeted and killed by an Israeli soldier. And regardless of the soldier's identity, what matters for us is that there needs to be justice. And as important as the documentary was, it's also crucial to point out that there needs to be legal processes to hold the entire system accountable in order for there to be truly to be closure for us as a family, and for there to be justice and accountability.
The Israeli army pushes back, criticizing Zeteo for naming the soldier despite the family's wishes and insisting there's no definitive proof of who fired the shot. They express grief for the soldier's family but sidestep accountability for Shireen's. Shireen Abu Akleh's voice may have been silenced, but her legacy endures. For Lina and her family, the fight is far from over. They demand justice, not just for Shireen, but for every life lost to impunity. Zeteo's documentary is a step, but without legal accountability, closure remains elusive. The question lingers, will the world listen? Will justice prevail? Subscribe for more stories that matter. Share this video to keep Shireen's story alive. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged.
That soldier looked down his scope and could see the blue vest and that it said press.
That's my belief, yes.
U.S. personnel have never had access to those who are believed to have committed those shootings.
No one has been held to account. Justice has not been served.
She is the first American Palestinian journalist who has been killed by Israeli forces.
I want to know, who killed Shireen?
How are we going to find the shooter?
He's got a phone call set up with this Israeli soldier who was there that day.
We just have to go over to Israel.
Did you ever talk to the guy who fired the shots?
Of course. I know him personally. The U.S. should have absolutely come forward and actually pressed the fact that an American citizen was killed intentionally by IDF.
The drones are still ongoing. The explosion's going off.
Holy shit, we got a name.
But here's the twist.